Alright, hello and welcome back to Overwatch Everyday. Today I'm going to be continuing our tank push on this new account. We ended 4-1 yesterday, if I remember correctly. Replay codes just got wiped. We've ended 4-1. We finished predicted Diamond 5. Ideally today we'll be playing a few games. I don't know if we'll get placements done today. But we'll get a good way there. Probably today or tomorrow is going to be when placements are done. A lot of poke here. A lot of poke options. So there's tanks like a Sigma are going to be pretty good. Domina might be an option. If it's circuit, if it's circuit, you can play a lot more of a ground tank style as well, like Orisa, Ramatra. Domina's going to be very, very strong here. Sigma's going to be very, very strong here. Dive tanks will struggle somewhat, but they are playable. I think I'll probably pick my tank around what my team wants to play here. We want to ban Detta Zarya. Very fair. This is a really strong combination, especially playing into snipers. Because it's really hard for like a Widowmaker to get the value that they want if the Detta just gets bubbled and runs them down. Roadhog, Zarya, Detta, Sojourn. So looking like this is going to be a sniper game. Not exactly what you want to see when you're queuing tank, because it means that the game's going to be a little bit more out of your hands than it would normally. Sometimes a Widow's just going to click some heads and there's not much you can do about it, but it's our job to try to make that happen as little as possible. So here, looking like a Junkrat, Ana, Moira. Very unlikely that we're going to be winning some longer duels. Alright, now that we're on Kiriko, it's going to be a lot easier to win some longer fights. I think Domina is playable here, Reese is playable, Reinhardt, but I think here I'm going to be playing Sigma. The reason why I'm picking Sigma over these is because Domina is super CD dependent, and here we're going to be having a lot of constant spam coming out with our Junkrat and our Emre. I want to try to have the most uptime possible in the front line to give them the most chances to find their frags, as well as if they're on like a Widowmaker or something that has a lot of pick opportunity, I just need to be a constant presence, which Domina would struggle with a little bit. So they're on Ramatra. This matchup is a little bit hard for Sigma because Ramatra is able to punch through my shield and through my hands. So here, they take this high ground. I just want to try to slow them down as much as possible, but this isn't the hill we're going to die on. My Ana goes down because they're poking through main. Moira gets their Fade Force, but they end up trying to swing without their Ramatra, so I'm able to sort of hold my ground and punish them. With their form out, the main job here is to live, and then now that their form is done and over with, I can look to shield off their backline and clear our space, because the Ramatra doesn't have their sustain to actually like live inside of us anymore once form is out, so I'm able to just kind of run them down. I just want to try to peel as many shots to me as possible so that they're not going onto my squishies and potentially finding kills. It's just really important to just watch your health and your shield health to make sure that you don't get randomly one-shot, or you don't ever say you're welcome. More on the left side. Looks like they're going to be taking that high ground again. I might even just give it this time because last fight we ended up getting picked through the shooters on main, and I don't think that this Ramatra will be that much of an issue if I just shield off his backline when he drops. So my team is backing up. They use the Ramatra shield and they're slow. Ideally we want to be looking for our form here. I'm handsing to try to get some space, but because we go down one, I'm looking for an ult on their backline. I hit their Moira and I end up going down. I could have ulted a little bit sooner there, and I could have probably looked for the Ramatra instead of their backline, but because we were down their Junkrat, I was a little bit worried that we wouldn't have the damage to kill the Ramatra. Maybe could have played that a little bit better. I think I should have tried to clutch up in a different way after my Junkrat goes down. We find an early kill onto their soldier. It's really important not to rush here because the Ramatra still is able to just sort of run me down if they want with their form. Our main trigger is not the kill on the soldier, it's the form out. So now that the form's out, after this, we're able to step all that we want. A little bit of a micro mistake. Now that their form is back and their pull is ready, and their Ramatra ult is ready, they end up putting themselves in a good spot to actually just run us down. It looks like I'm not going to be able to play the slower style that we wanted. We swapped to Zen. I was going to say I might swap a Risa or Ramatra myself, but because we're on the Zenyatta, we're going to be having a lot more damage on the Ramatra looking for their steps, with the Discord Orb especially. So I think it might be still viable for Sigma. Nano boost onto me. My job is still to stay on the card though. Nobody else on my team is able to really do that, and I'm not able to find the kills because I can't get into a position to actually like frag out. It was a rough game. Some desperate changes are needed from my end. After my flux, I'm thinking about going either Junker Queen to get onto their backline a little bit easier, or Orisa or Ramatra. Orisa maybe on this point, so that I can really just lock down this coast side. It's going to be really scary for them to step into an Orisa on that coast because the spear is just able to force them into a really, really bad spot. I'm going to look for some staggers here onto their Moira and Junkrat. Their Moira doesn't have a fade. With their Junkrat going down, they're not going to have much damage to actually force us off this corner here, so we just want to try to force their form and then live to further deny their potential to win this fight. Step off any advantage that they get. Rock onto the soldier, won't be able to connect the follow-up shot, so I want my Junkrat to back up! I need a backup. They still have their Ramatra form. I'll look to Rock to try to save my BAP, but my BAP will go down. Big sleep coming out from my Ana. Junkrat helps me to that high ground. If their Junkrat didn't help me, I would be able to use the... Ew! No, I'm a beast. I'd be able to use the trash can to hop up. I'll probably show you it right here, as I don't want to be fighting the form. Yonsa's high ground makes it a little bit harder for the Ramatra to chase me in their form. Because we're tiring and look to step up, it builds some attention, and we're able to get a frag off the step that the tire opened up for us. Backline is a little bit too far out of range for me to rock, so I turn on the Ramatra instead. And we close out this fight. This point's going to be pretty good for us. Life Weaver Pedal actually helps me out a lot. I'm going to be starting high ground because it's going to be impossible for the Ramatra to form onto me unless they come over here to clear me. And I'm able to get my poke damage in before they're able to do what they want to do. My Ana's high ground, my Emre's high ground. I'm going to need to drop later, but ideally we want to force out some cooldowns as we're up here. Like that Moira Fade is wonderful. It's going to be cutting off the Ramatra healing for a while, and the Moira's in a really weird spot now. And their Ramatra gets a form for us, and we're able to step off this a little bit with our flux. Maybe finding the kill, but we end up just forcing their pull. Whoa. Nano comes out onto me, Tree comes out for them. I can't step that much, but the Ramatra goes low. I need to shield off their healing and try to blow them up with my Rock. A little bit of a micro misplay from me. I pulled my shield kind of for no reason. If I kept my shield up, then they wouldn't have had the damage to kill me as I tried to split up their Ramatra. Though they don't have that much brawl on point, and we have our window up, so we should be able to win this securely. That's why I didn't swap to a stall tank. It's because I saw their Ramatra go down, and I saw our window up, so it's going to be really hard for them to actually close out the fight on point. It was unlikely. And the 45% on Flux is pretty good for this, or going into this last fight. Still starting on this high ground, going to be backing up similar to how I did. Ideally getting a rock on this Sig or their Ramatra as they walk. They would try to clear me here though. Their Moira Cole's alone on point. Their Ramatra drops to try to follow up on it. So here I need to make sure that I mitigate as much of the threat as possible. Soldier on high ground, Tire and left. I need to be on the cart because no one else on my team can. Rock on the Moira finds the kill, and I'm able to build my flux to close this out. No. Life here was OP, bro. Nobody can see 9. I saw everyone that needs to die die. So now it's just about trying to stop them from touching. Nice. A little bit of a rough start on this game, but since I was just patient and identifying what my team swaps meant for me, I stuck on Sigma and made it pretty easy for my team to follow up on the value, as well as third points is pretty good. Especially once you get that float perk, you're able to just go to the high grounds. Looking at attack here, we're sticking with the BAP Ana. I like the Ana quite a bit because it enables their, or denies their Ramatra from doing everything that they want. Both Nade and Sleep are extremely powerful. You saw their Ramatra die a few times because their Ana hit a nice sleep, but we were in a good position to follow up on it. Emre yet again, Junkrat. We're going to be looking at the same comp. I might not play Sigma here. I might play Orisa or Ramatra. Because we're on attack, I'm going to be needing to take space a little bit more aggressively. Sigma's really, really strong at denying that space, like holding them back, using rocks to slow them down. But can struggle sometimes to actually take the space. So I might go Ramatra or Orisa to make it a little bit easier on myself. Both of these heroes do very similar things. My comfort is in Orisa a little bit because it leans a little bit more into mechanics, but if you want to play a little more like to live and to chill and less to like kill and frag out, both are valuable. Ramatra is a little bit more of a way to go, and Orisa is an amazing counter Reinhardt. I think more so than Ramatra, because it's going to be difficult for them to land their pins onto you. They can't swing through your spin. Here, we just need to chill. We're in no rush to do anything. We find the Discord onto the Rhine, so I'm going to actually be pushing this guy into us with my CDs, and now we force out that corner. They use Bastion Form, which is super, super fine. We just got a kill. We force out the Reinhardt. We wait out their Bastion Form. We don't need to do anything, so now that their turn is over, we can just start stepping and maybe secure this point if we get a lucky stagger. Reinhardt's not able to pin out because I just been saving gold. Electric pulls them out again, but that is okay. Looking for a lucky stagger here, but it's important not to commit too much so that I'm ready to actually like match their aggression if it comes down to it. A pretty big win con for me here is going to be my ultimate ability. If I can just put it on the point and not get blown up by the Bastion Form, I should be able to cap pretty significantly, since even the tankiest tanks are not going to want to stand into a full charge to resolve. So here, their Bastion doesn't have form, so I'm just going to put my ult on point and push the cart with it. I used it a little bit too early. I should have let cart walk a little bit further before using it, because that way they would have been forced to actually walk into it. But the Reinhardt had a really good play in punishing my mistake of just chilling. So now their Moira goes down. Their Bastion has formed very, 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 very soon. We have Trank up though, so as long as I'm looking at this Bastion and trying to mitigate their value, we should be chill burger. I'm spinning just for safety. Here we have our window, our Emerald. I need to be ready to push on either one of these, but ideally my Emerald, and our Emerald just popped. It's just so quiet, I can't fucking hear it. Reinhardt's holding shield. I want to look for a spear on these low HP backline targets, but I just could not find it. Bastion comes out from them. I'm going to be saving my gold since they do have Shatter now. I want to try to be buffering the Rhine as much as I can to get them away from a good shatter position. More uses are cool. Reinhardt's walking up. Look, posturing like he wants a shatter pretty soon. We have a Discord onto him. I need to play passively. If I get my gold force, we just kind of lose. That's their Bastion form out once more. Now that I have my ult, I'm able to react to their shatter with my ult instead. So I can use gold a little bit easier here. So there's shatter coming out, and we're able to stop the pin onto our team as well. Form coming out from the Bastion. After this form is out, then it can be our turn to step looking for our ult. We have our Trank to extend as well, so I'm walking in here, opening up space with my Orisa ult. Finds the kill on the Bastion. Really nice. Reinhardt falls 1 HP. We're able to kill even though they use Shreeve. And that will be second point. We only need one more real fight to win, and the best way that I'm going to be... the way that I think that it's going to be best to do that is just taking this right side angle and like basically playing like to assassinate people. It's going to be really hard for them to just walk onto my backline for free. So I'm just going to be playing over here, and they want this space really bad, so it's very likely that they'll just kind of walk into me like their Ashe and this Moira did. They want that space because it's going to be really hard for them to actually like walk down that huge open lane on main without opening up some sort of side angle first. So if I just sit on the side angle, it'll be really hard. The Reinhardt's holding corner. We use our Emrail though, and now that zones their backline, so they're not able to heal their Reinhardt. We're able to step onto them and get the kill. That'll gets broken. That's okay. Their Ashe goes down and Lifeweaver is 1 HP. They don't quite have our shatter, but they'll have it pretty soon. I noticed the soldier on high ground, so I can just walk up there and shoot him. Just kind of banish their backline. I don't necessarily need to sit on cart right now, but I will later. So I'm just trying to weaken up their angles and resources on cart while I can. And then we turn around for the Reinhardt, we pop our tire and result, and that's the game. Now scoreboard 35-4. Not bad. Not a bad start to the day. I might actually play a few more. I was only planning on playing like 1 or 2, but we'll see. Once I get a little bit tired today, is when I'll stop. My guidelines for myself is to play 1 to 5 games. Each day. If they're going really well, then who knows, we'll see. Up to Diamond 3 shoots us up 2 ranks. It's very possible. We can end Masters today. That would be a good goal for us. I think if we're able to end predicted in Masters, that would be a really good spot to be. Lijiang, New Junk, Havana. Havana is going to be the one sort of outlier here. If it rolls onto Havana, then we're going to be playing very pokey, sort of like last game. But Lijiang or New Junk can end up with a lot of different comps. You can play a lot of different things here. I think it prefers a little bit more of a brawly get onto them sort of comp or heroes. Things like Junker Queen, Hazard, Zarya, Ramatra, but you can play a lot. You'll be noticing in a lot of these games, I'll be saying like both Orisa and Ramatra are pretty like chill or pretty fine. Both of them are like super like good generalists. They both have like a lot of poke and a lot of staying power on the point. I think Orisa's a little bit more pokey than Ram because Ram is tied to their cooldowns a little bit more. You aren't able to swing out as much and shoot without your shield as Ram, but Orisa just has like a fucking deadly gun and a little bit more mobility with their spin as well. So we roll New Junk. Let's see what our team picks here. We've been playing a lot of Ram and Orisa, so I'm gonna try to venture out if I can. Depending on our comp, looks like I will be able to. With our Ana, Kiri, and Sojourn, we don't have a speed boost to play around, which can make some heroes somewhat hard. Heroes like Zarya, especially, can struggle. I'm going to start with Junker Queen, though. Junker Queen, while it's nice to have speed boost, it's not exactly necessary in a lot of comps, because you're able to use your shout to get onto the people that you need to get onto a lot of the time. They are on Reinhardt. Maybe I'll off a Rein here. After I die, I'll swap to match this guy's Reinhardt. They're on Bastion, Reinhardt, Juno. So my goal is to be waiting out their turns, which are mainly going to be dictated by their Bastion form cycles. And then looking to step onto their backline. We don't want to be shooting this Rein too much, but sometimes it's going to be our only option. As long as they have pin, it's going to be really scary to sidestep the Reinhardt, because they can just kind of turn around and one-shot you if you ignore them with pin. That's the knife on the Kiri. That's a little devastating. They're on Torbjorn now instead of Bastion. Torb E comes out, and they are forcing the point. I miss my perk so much. Kiri falls low. I don't look at her after I get the knife, because I thought she was going to TP. But because, even though the Reinhardt went to point, got the flip, because we're just kind of a menace in their backline, they're not able to actually, like, win the fight. So now we can just clean everyone up, and then we get the point flip back. Ideally, you have something like a Tracer or Genji to touch the point for you, but it's really important, especially when you identify your win con, is to just sort of get onto their backline to do what you do best. It's okay to give the flip sometimes. Unless you know you can't take it back later. But with a Reinhardt, I'm not that worried about taking a point back. Reaper stepping left side. I'm going to be extending our poke a little bit more by backing up. And because I backed up, I actually didn't open up an opportunity for myself to get onto their backline. But now their backline is walking to me, so I give the flip once more, and I walk onto their Torbjorn, poking their Juno from this angle now, and we should close up this fight. Nice. Yeah, I'll go Rein. I think Junker Queen is a very sort of mechanics dependent hero. I can say to get onto the backline a lot, but if you don't find the frags on the... Oh, shit. I was not tracking that, I won't lie. You should be tracking Shadow. Anytime that you're playing... anytime you're playing against Reinhardt, tracking Shadow is really, really important. You saw me do it last game, but this one, I just... got a little bit sidetracked. Since they were staying on the point all the time, maybe subconsciously I thought they didn't have it. It's especially important if you're giving flip consistently to win fights, because now we're in a really bad spot even though they only won one fight. I'm going to be using my ult here to touch. And now it's time to get some frags. Which we are not able to find. Fuck. Alright. I trolled that by not tracking Shatter and ignoring the Reinhardt when I couldn't. But now we're on a Reinhardt mirror. They have Reaper Soldier. We have Sojourn Junkrat. We can be fighting a little bit more for our poke. We don't have to get onto them immediately. And let our shooters cook, ideally. We'll see how it is in action. We're all stacked on one angle, which is not ideal. Ideally, we can force out this Reaper Need to be really careful of honest sleep here. If it gets slept, it's kind of Jover. So, Nano comes out onto me, we find a kill on the Reaper because of it. And now it's just time to clear the people that could be a nuisance to us. Like chasing down that Reinhardt. If they stable later, it could be a little bit scary if they walk on point with their own Nano. So we want to kill them since we get the chance. And then we back up and chill for the rest of it. Looks like the Reinhardt's going right side. I want to know where their soldier is. Sounds left. If their soldier's left side, that's going to be kind of rough for us because I can't do that much about it. It looks play main. Alright, sick. That makes my job easier. Reinhardt walking right. I am going to match this because the Reaper's not over here. Reinhardt pinning in. Falls low HP though, so I missed my pin and they want to blossom. They have their shatter, so I'm going to be dropping now that I don't have my own shield to play the block. But no, the Suzu, bro. If I was able to get that Rhine down with my own shatter, then we would just win that fight instantly. The Suzu was kind of unfortunate. I don't know if they intend to. Walking into this point, we have 4 ults. I need to be very, very careful of their Blossom and their Nano especially. I'm gonna look for an early cheeky pin onto the Reaper, force their fade, and the Reaper walks in. I'm really scared of that. But I do not get the care I expected to. My mistake there was I wasn't looking at my support position while I was pathing through the mid-fight. Since I didn't path towards them, like the Reaper was walking in space that wasn't actually that big of a deal because my supports weren't over there, so I didn't need to kill them at that moment, but it did put me in a vulnerable spot. I'm not able to get the touch, unfortunately. The Reinhardt's walking up himself. And we go down 2 points. This is not my best game. This is a pretty rough game for me. We're still able to turn it around though. This point's going to be a lot more open. Reinhardt's in us. I think as long as I just kind of live here, we should just kill him. Reaper still has their Blossom. I can't go clear that. So I'm going to look at their back line instead. And I'm able to hit the double onto him. And clean up the rest of them. I'm not going to chase that on that. I think there's a lot that could go wrong there. So I'm just going to sit on point. I'm really worried about my teammates not walking up with me and then sleep coming out. My teammates are playing in some peculiar spots, so I'm going to keep an eye on them for the rest of the game a little bit more closely. I see my Ana playing back right. We rush. It's really hard for me to step with this though because they have ultimates and my Ana is that back right still. She's still on the high ground. I'm forced to give some space on point, which really, really sucks. Ugh. I just didn't have that many options there. We used our rush early, which is always going to be really scary because if they ever live the rush, then it's kind of really hard to sit on point. I didn't want to shatter because they had their shield up. They had all CDs. We're getting staggered as well. I'm going to need to make a miracle happen here. I think that the play is going to be walk through this right side. Soldier really close. Maybe I can find something? No. If their Reinhardt pins over here, I can look for a shatter. I'm going to force point. My backline is kind of unsavable right now. So I just need to put myself in a spot to clutch up later. Maybe I can go help this one. find 2 kills and maybe a pin on the Fury if I'm lucky. So close, bro. My Junkrat was a little bit busy. Rush comes out on us with a point. We have our Nano in a second, though. If we just use it onto our Junkrat, our Soldier, that's huge. Oh, Nano Visor's massive. Awesome. Alright, we should win this point now. They use Shattered. I didn't see Blossom. I think they use them. And that will be the point. I think good Shatter play for me to peel back after I get the flip. I knew my backline was kind of unredeemable there, so I just was able to get the flip and then turn around. We were able to get percentage that entire time. That was basically like winning 2 fights. Reaper on right side. I didn't see their Nano. They don't have Shatter. On their early pin onto the Reinhardt. Don't think it's gonna. Wow, it does kill. Damn. I don't know if there's a way to burst that. So, the Reinhardt's gonna be back in a second. Blossom comes out onto my back line, and the Reaper looks a pin at me. I'm gonna try to peel this guy. I am successful in doing that. Zoning off their Ana, we have a rush on point, we clear up the Reinhardt behind us. I have my Shatter there, close to theirs as well. Ana on left, Curie on main. I'm scared of Visor, I think. Soldier going left. I'm gonna try to cheeky pin this. That's okay. A miracle frag from my team or me would be really nice right now. Main way that Reinhardt's able to get miracle frags is through their pin. 4 on main. Reinhardt's completely split. If we have anyone looking at the Reinhardt, it's going to be a pretty good fight for us. Visor comes out. Reinhardt's on point. I need to save a lot of my shield to block Shatter. Not able to hit mine, unfortunately, but we hit the pin. That's the next best thing. And the Fire Strike. Can't do much about the Ana, but I can zone them off the point. So here, I don't have the resources to push. I don't have all my armor, nor my shield. They still have their Earth Shatter, so I'm going to be backing up on the point, actually. The Reinhardt's walking to high ground. Oh my... That's bad, that's bad, that's bad. Alright, we're okay. Maybe retaking the space. Again, I need to get... now that they use an ult, it's just... That's... Why? My pin is on cooldown! Okay. They use 2 ults there. They use their rush, their nano. Even if I hit the counter pin, I don't think it would have mattered that much. It's just a little frustrating. Make sure you always know where the Reinhardt is when you're walking up and they have Shatter. There you are. I have to be ready to block that. Oh my god, that guy's in a really annoying spot. My DPS aren't doing that much bad, but we're able to find some frags. I'm just gonna leave my Ana to die. To get onto the point. They are Reinhardt opts to back up onto the point. Reinhardt goes down. Kirikou goes very low. I'm gonna try to walk on that. Kiriku's what? Nice kill. No, wake me up, wake me up! Oh my god. Oh my god, I should just sit on the point. I'm never walking on the point again. I'm never ever doing it. Oh my god. Alright, I have my Shatter. They have their shatter. They never use. Bastion now. They want to be looking to blow me up a lot, so I need to be playing very, very passive and picking my moments very carefully. Again, identifying the Bastion form is going to be like one of the main triggers here for my play potential. Sleep Dart goes out. Reinhardt falls low. I'm going to step on this a bit. Bastion form is up, but that is okay. I wasn't committed anywhere. The Reinhardt's still looking for their shatter. I get outplayed with my ping, but I'm able to hit the shatter. Should kill? Yes. Nice. And that's amazing. They use their nano there, they use their rush, they're swapping off of that Reaper. So now we just need to be carrying their Reinhardt ult. It's the only one available. Their Bastion just swapped, they don't have their ult quite yet, and even so, it's currently nothing burger ult. They use form really early, amazing. Same thing though, I don't want to be playing too aggressive. It's really hard to mechanically block shatters when you're playing aggressively. So make it easy on yourself. You can give a little bit more space, especially now that they're on this venture. I just want to be playing up just far enough to bait their forms out, but still giving myself space and time to react. Especially on this rush. So I hear their Bastion where they pop their ults, and what the fuck? I was wondering who was on the point, and I was able to step them down. Bro, alright, come on buddy, come back and shatter. Throw it into my shield. Fuck you. I was so upset. Bro, they held shatter for so long. I just wanted them to use it. I wanted to stop stressing about it, man. Alright. That was a chill game, 33-8. It got a little bit rough and it was really close at times. It was hard to adjust to my backline's positioning. It took me too long to adapt to how the game was actually being played and not how it should be played, which has been, it's a consistent issue for me as a player. I struggle to recognize sometimes, and here we're at Diamond 2. I think we only went up 1 rank that time, but that's okay. Hopefully, with this next game, we'll end in Masters, and it'll be awesome sauce. Busan, Gibraltar, Hollywood, looking like a very dive map here. Maybe we'll finally be able to play some Winston. Looking like a definite yes on the Hollywood. We'll see what bans look like. I know sometimes in lower ranks it's very common for like heroes like Winston to be banned just because they're so prevalent. And if they're played well, they can be super oppressive. No bans from my team so far. Looking like maybe just a normal Hollywood game. My support wants to ban Zarya, maybe Sigma. Zarya Widow Sigma. Bans come out as Sigma, Widow, Zarya, Detta, so we are going to get our dive that we want. We'll see here our support line. It'd be really nice if we were able to get like an Ana or a Bap or Juno or some sort of main healer. A lot of people put emphasis on the Ana here, but honestly, as long as your supports like live and they can heal you, it doesn't really matter that much. I think Winston especially is a lot more self-sustainable than people give them credit for. We see a Brig. Right, Ana coming out. So double hit scan means for me that I want to be pressuring their shooters and their backline a lot. Sometimes if they're on a super run us down tank, I might want to be even fighting their tank sometimes, even if it's a little unfavorable for me. But we'll see how the game actually plays out. I am going to go Winston here, just because it's a super strong Winston map. If I'm struggling on it, I will go Diva, or if I need to be marking my backline a little bit more, I'll go Diva. But it looks like with Domina, that is not going to be the case here. We're going to be playing into Domina, Junkrat, Mizuki. Did I see that right? So, big thing about this is we're going to be needing to open up angles very frequently. Jesus Christ! Alright, that's super fine. Unironically, if, like, I jump over there and they chase me after they use shield, it's going to be really hard for them to actually kill me, because they have to walk into my damage dealers LOS, and if we trade like that just happened, then we're going to be in a pretty good spot since they don't have their Junkrat right now. Kind of unlucky that we stagger. But we forced them back, and they gave up high ground completely for free. So now we're just able to take this angle. Let's wait out their shield so my backline can do things. Junkrat's back. I jump up to get my healing procs. They force me out. My backline, we get a little bit of space here, especially for Bastion. Domina falls low, and it's time for me to start staging for my actual dive. Into their comp, they have such high damage, it's going to be really hard for me to actually get into them a lot. Especially with their Junkrat and Tor being so obsessed with me. Their Torbjorn backs up, and now I'm stepping onto their Domina to try to clear, but because they use their ult, it's going to be really difficult for my team to actually get the kill, which is okay. We're now going to be up in ult pretty soon. Junkrat's still chasing me. I'm going to grab this Mega and then look to pressure their backline. We trade out their Emery, which is massive. Or not Emery, Domina. Here into the Torbjorn. I don't have my perk, I'm not able to chase that quite yet. He's a little too fast for me, but because we force out their Torbjorn E, I'm able to step basically for free. Most of their damage on me is gone. Chain coming out, Tire coming out. I throw their Junkrat into the mix, but they use their ults to live. It's going to be a lot harder for us to win this game right now, but we are okay. Winston I really like here because we're able to open up a lot of space on the map. And every time that their Junkrat will like chases me or their Torbjorn looks at me, that is damage that's not being sent towards my squishies. And with Domina being such a cooldown dependent hero, if I'm timing my hits well and peeling the pressure, it means that their shield is a lot less lethal than it should be. And it means my team has a far higher chance of surviving, and then we can win the fight later. So now, going into this fight, I'm going to be forcing Cart a little bit. Torbjorn's on low ground. I might actually step at that. I get my armor force because I'm trying to scout too much. I am going to pressure this Torbjorn. Normally this is a really dangerous jump, but because I have my Primal, you can be a little bit risky sometimes. You're able to get the kill onto the Torbjorn. I want to see if I can greed Primal here. Junkrat falls onto my Emre, but we're able to clean him up. And we can hold this space. Chain comes out from Mizuki, so I don't have anything to worry about there. And now they have Ray on point, but it's okay because we're up like 4. So I can kind of just run them down and clean up the point. But most important part is if nobody gets on the point, you gotta get on. Somebody gotta do it. Especially with Winston, if you're pushing the cart and they try to come to match you, then you can take other space on the map super easy. Like here, now that their Domina is sitting main, as soon as I can just point, I'm jumping to this high ground, because not only does this clear the Reaper off the high ground, but it stages me from my jump, and now we go for it. They go for their hit, my Bastion looks for a step, but it's countered by Reaper. I'm gonna fight this Reaper here. I get Discorded, which is really unfortunate. I can't win that or chase that at all because of the Discord. And this spot is now getting a little bit harder for me. I have my Chain Lightning now, which means I'm a lot less pressured to actually walk into them, because I'm gonna be having a lot more damage just poking like this. There's a huge chance of me just finding kills as I just AFK. I bonk on my jump, but it ends up okay because I have my primal, so I'm just gonna live, or use it to live, and then kill the Torbjorn, who just happens to walk into me. I have Domino on point, Reaper on point. They want to force me out here, and especially with that Zenyatta respawning, it's really important to just back and stabilize. Now that we have an advantage on cart, I took my time to get my HP back instead of fighting and getting desperate for the cart progress. We were able to just push it almost away. They're gonna get one more fight. I'm gonna see if I can save my Bastion. Looks like I can, which is very nice. Having a Bastion ready to just brawl on point means that I am a lot less pressured to actually sit on the point. And into their comp, I want to be angling quite a bit. So every time I'm not able to play on the point, I'm going to be taking it. Or I'm able to not play on the point, I want to take it. So here, still same thing, I just need to take angles and poke them. With Chain Lightning, you just farm everything so quickly. Little Winston tech here, if you're going for a one, or like taking a 1v1, especially against a hero that will just kind of like trade you out long term, you want to position yourself under doorways so that you can get the damage from your jump and melee like really fast and bursty. They use a gazillion ults. I think they just use Blossom, Domina, Trank. Did they Molten Core? I don't know. If I can save this guy, that'd be wonderful. Not quite, but that's okay. Not exactly needed. Their Domina gets split off by my bubble and is forced to back, and we're able to find the kill because my Bastion steps up, which is awesome. Now we have a lot of cart space. So Reaper finds another frag though, which really sucks. And we are staggering a little bit here. Now things are getting a little bit dire. I'm playing in a way that should be winning, but it's not, so I'm going to adjust my playstyle a little bit and be a little bit more forceful. Right now, I want to be playing for my primal. I want to force out the Zenyatta Discord first and foremost. I want to pressure them to Discord me, live, wait out the Discord, and now I can be looking for my own primal. To open up the fight. Nade comes out onto me. I need to be careful to make sure that I'm ready to back here. Really important thing about Ana is if you're not able to jump onto them vertically, try to get onto them really quickly and fast to fuck up their sleep. I see 9, 4. I get another tap, but it's gonna be really hard for me to win this. Reaper gets another fade off. I get discorded. Not quite able to close it out because they just have a bunch of like point presence with their Zenyatta, their Orisa. Once they get the respawns off, it's just kind of Jover. Their Ana took a really nice play. Their Ana swinging that wider angle means that we're like the resources that we needed to actually cap the point were threatened, so I backed up to clear her. But because of that, we were not able to get the full cap, and they were able to get their respawns. A few of us also kind of rando died, which happens. I think maybe if I stood on the point instead of looking at their Ana and just waited for my next bubble cycle, would have been better. It's just risky because their Ana is very likely to keep up whoever's touching the point for them. It's going to be hard to kill through Ana heals. Especially as Winston and dive tanks in general aren't going to have that much like raw numbers to their name. So their advantage and the value of the hero comes from like taking out the resources around the point before you step onto it. But in that specific scenario, I don't know if I had the time to do so. Now, remembering to myself that I don't have Chain Lightning anymore, so I'm going to be a little bit more pressured to actually get hits off and get onto them. Orisa, Torbjorn, Zenyatta, same comp here. This is going to be really, really difficult for me. My job is to hold space, which can be very, very hard into high damage comps as Winston, but it's still very possible. Here, we see them walking up. Discord comes out onto me, and I'm going to use that chance to reposition to the high ground and hopefully clear it. With the Orisa walking up in Gold Force, I'm going to put Bubble down on them to make them back up. We kill the Venture inside of us, because that's how it was well timed. Discord comes out onto me again. This opens up another bubble play, so I'm going to step up onto their Orisa. Ideally forcing gold or spin here. Suzu gets forced, and that is more than okay. Every time that I get one of my cycles off, like a bubble cycle, it opens up a chance for my team to play the game and frag out. I don't have my armor. It's going to be hard for me to step. After this gold, I'm going to look for a kill play on the Orisa. So we split off the Orisa with bubble, and we are able to get a kill because we split off their supports. If Torbjorn took too much damage, the Orisa took too much damage, and their supports weren't able to keep them up through it. I missed my jump, which is tragic. They used Discord on me, so I'm going to use one jump to stage and then one jump to try to make a miracle happen. I need to find their Zen. The Zenyatta positioned really well in a way that made it so I was not able to get onto them as soon as I wanted, so then the cooldown on Discord was already back. This is a really dangerous spot for my team, 6-7, because now there's nothing stopping their team from both pushing the car and walking down this high ground. And it looks like that's what they try to do. My Lari hits a very nice boot though. What the fuck? So now they do walk onto the high ground and they open up. Alright, I need to swap Winston maybe. I think I can win. They kind of just got a tank buster, so no matter what you swap to, it's going to feel miserable. In these scenarios, I like playing Winston most because Winston is an extremely versatile hero and is able to play into a lot if you're looking for the right triggers. One really important part about Winston is bubble usage, and mine are terrible right now. So here, we see their Orisa main. That means that high ground's basically clear. I want to be poking out this far a lot because that's going to be their sort of like laner. Ideally with the end goal of getting onto their Zen. Zenyatta dies to poke, which is really, really nice for us. Torbjorn is low HP as well. I would use my bubble, but I have armor, so I'm waiting until my armor goes away before I bubble. But they never ended up taking away, so we'll just chill to keep walking there. So I bubbled it back up and clear the rest of this. Pharah ends up close. They're going to be closing Barrage. Barrage is going to be one of the scariest things for tanks in general, but especially Winston. Because if their Pharah is sitting back and they have Barrage, then there's kind of nothing that you can do besides just shoot them more. Because if you jump in, you'll just get one shot. My cast wants to noon. I don't like the play that much. It's going to be hard for... There's a lot of threats to it. There's Spear, there's Barrage, there's... Spear comes out, Barrage comes out, Zenyatta falls low. I'm going to Primal to make sure we win this. They peel me with Discord and Spear, but that's okay. We force out Transcendence with it. Transcendence comes out, Gold comes out, Spear comes out. Zenyatta's low ground, so I don't actually have much like potential to kill me on this high ground. Here, my Lari hits an amazing ult. I'm gonna clear this Venture since I see that they have no dig and no way to actually live my presence. And now that I have Chain Lightning, I just hit my Power Spike as a hero into their comp. Orisa uses their ult on the cart, but because we have all of the angles surrounding the cart with our cast and our Ana on high ground, it's just gonna feel really bad for them, and we're able to clear it up really easily. Venture main. We force out dig. Dig for bubble there is fine. Usually I don't like to be using bubble for dig, but because they don't have an Orisa, I don't have to really buffer anything. Or split off their Orisa from their walk, and now that their Orisa's back, I have it in time. Pressuring Zenyatta, but because there are 3 people looking at me and Discord got onto me, I back up. Their Torp has no E, so we're able to just clear that up. Where the fuck are they? There they are. Looks like they're kind of booming a little bit. They're supposed to be on an easier comp, but they're losing to one of the... or a comp that's supposed to be way harder into that. This is a pretty common thing in ranked. If you get good enough at a dive hero or like something that people see is somewhat traditionally weak, like Winston, it can kind of just demoralize them pretty frequently, which is really nice. Even though the hero isn't bad, it's just it's just hard. They swapped to Mira Winston. Kiriko uses their TP Suzu. I'm gonna be stepping on this to clean up these kills and get down to stun on point. Reaper has no fades, so I'm able to just face tank both of those. Winston goes down, and that will be the game. Do we make Masters? I guess never say never. MMK kills 5 here. I'm a little bit nervous about their tank coming back, but it's really hard to juggle Trank. His moves so fast. Nice. And that will be the game. 41-3 to end that lobby. They had a lot of heroes that made Winston's job super, super hard, but especially on dive maps, you can play this. That's what I mean by Winston. Like, a good Winston can be played in a lot of different areas, but you need to really know sort of what you're playing for in the hero. It can be played into like basically all the counter swaps. Oh, we hit Masters. All right, and that was our goal for the day. So I'm gonna leave it at that for now. 57 minutes, about an hour again. All right. Finish the day, I believe 3-0. Yeah, 3-0 for the day. We go from Diamond 5 to Masters 5 predicted. Next time, we're going to be finishing up the placements and getting into probably just grinding up to GM. I don't know if we're going to be able to get GM off the last 2 games of our placements. It'd be nice if we could. But either way, I think that within the week we'll be well our way into GM and pretty soon champion. Alright, thanks for tuning in. That was Overwatch Every Day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.